I just started looking into getting my music on iTunes and Apple Music, and I'm not happy with what I've found. Hey guys, Dani here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I am starting to really seriously look into my original music, and I thought that it would be a good time to start looking into how I would go about getting said original music on iTunes and Apple Music when I was ready to release it. And so I started doing some digging, and basically what I found is that Apple essentially forces you to pay other people to get your music on their services. So let me explain. So there are kind of three platforms that are involved in getting your music onto Apple services. There is iTunes itself, Apple Music, and something called iTunes Producer. I'm going to start off by explaining iTunes Producer. iTunes Producer is a little known piece of software that Apple produces to allow you, in their words, prepare and send your music for sale in iTunes. Although it is very hard to find, Apple does make it available as a free download. So after you download it, you have the program and you open it up, and it asks you to sign in with your Apple ID. It actually wants you to sign in with an app-specific password, apparently for security, but that's still fine. We pop on over to appleid.apple.com and generate an app-specific password. And you try to log in and it says, unable to find content provider for username. Alright, this is still fine, we just need to make ourselves a content provider. So we hop on over to iTunes Connect, log in, and start filling out the form to work directly with Apple. And you get to the requirements. We get past the technical requirements, and this is where the problems begin. It says that you need 20 albums in your catalog. Who even has 20 albums? Taylor Swift doesn't have 20 albums. Not even Michael Jackson has 20 albums. And that's even if you include all of his albums, all of his live albums, all of his EPs, and all of the albums that have been released for him since he died. That only equals 19. So how does Apple expect any one individual person to meet this outrageous requirement? Well, basically they don't. They are, in effect, forcing you to use a service like CD Baby, DistroKid, or TuneCore in order to get your music onto their platforms. Not that I have any issues with any of those companies. They actually include a lot more things than just putting your music on Apple services. But it's kind of just the principle of the thing. Just to go over Apple Music super quickly, it's basically a separate platform that allows you to control your artist page and your artwork and your music that is on Apple Music, which is separate from iTunes. And in order to set up an Apple Music page, you need to link your iTunes store, which once again you can't get unless you use iTunes Producer, which you need the iTunes Connect, which you can't get unless you have 20 albums. Do you see the problem? All of this frustrates me because I like being an independent person and artist. I really just like doing things myself. And I don't see why I need to pay a company to put my music on iTunes. Especially because looking at their instruction booklet for iTunes Producer, it is really not that complicated. I could do it myself. Yes, these companies do other things, and yes, these companies can optimize for whatever else, but I like the option of doing it myself. I just don't see the need to pay $50 to $70 to pay another company to put my music on iTunes. Especially since Apple is a company that prides itself on being there for the creative person and supporting the creative person. So why aren't they supporting the creative person in this way? Especially since home studios are on the rise, it's getting cheaper and cheaper to record music yourself. Why are these stumbling blocks put in our way to get our music on the platforms that we want to get them on. It would be one thing to charge me to put my music on iTunes if it was coming from Apple. But to almost force me to use a different company in order to get it on iTunes is ridiculous and unnecessary. Anyone who knows me or has been on this channel for any period of time knows I love Apple. I literally just made a video like a week and a bit ago talking about the Apple Watch Series 4 and how amazing it is and thanking Apple for an amazing device. I love Apple, but I also don't want to have to pay another company to put my music on iTunes. And I really hope that somehow this video gets to somebody at Apple so they can realize that this is what's happening and put a stop to it. I think as artists, musicians, anyone in the music industry, creative people in general, I think that we should be given the freedom to do things ourselves if we have the capability or the willingness to learn how to do something ourselves. I would really love to know you guys' thoughts on this issue in the comment section below, so please let me know. And also please subscribe to this channel to get more weekly music content. I will see you next time. Bye.